Welcome to the HR Minute by AllVoices. I'm your host, Jeffrey Fermin. Today, we're going to talk about something that's coming up right around the corner, the future, specifically the future of work. That's right. We have Amanda Halle today, who is an HR consultant that specializes in helping companies adopt AI for HR. So she's going to tell us more about what she expects from the future of work and how workplaces are going to continue evolving. With that said, Amanda, love to know more about you.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jeff. Excited to be here. My name is Amanda Halle, as was already stated. I have been in the HR people space for about 15 years. I've been saying 15 for a few, so it's a little bit more than 15 at this point. But I have been in and around HR for my entire career and started my own consultancy focused on fractional work and project-based work and AI specifically about 2.5 years ago. My background is heavily in the L&D and coaching space, but I'm also really passionate about leadership and really empowering more women and those underrepresented traditionally in tech as well. And to that point, I started a newsletter called Unraveling AI, which highlights a different person each week and how they use AI in the course of 24 hours. And it's meant to really give real world examples and day-to-day use of different tools and strategies for leveraging it.
So artificial intelligence has completely changed the game these past couple of years. How do you think artificial intelligence is going to be used by HR departments and people leaders moving forward?
Yeah, I think it is clearly a big buzz and has been for the past year. And I do think that the kind of this journey that we're on is kind of reached this point of, right, like most people know about it and people are talking about it. And I would say that even yesterday, I actually had 3 different instances in 3 different HR communities that I'm part of where folks were asking about advice or for consultants who could help them with different AI related tasks as HR leaders. And so I do think that it is here and it's not going anywhere. I believe that you know, the first thing is that I think that AI is going to infiltrate the day to day. And if people don't realize that it has already, it's there, right? Like it's in tools that we use every day, whether we realize it or not. And right from like Siri to Netflix to, you name it. There's prediction engines within so many of these tools that we're using. And then, thinking about generative AI more specifically. So the types of AI that is helping us to, draft process documents or policies or emails, that there's components of that within these tools that we're using every day as well. So I think that kind of one of the first predictions that I have for AI in this kind of year ahead is that it's going to become more commonplace within just the tools that we use every day. So forget adopting like new tools. The tools that we're using from the day to day are already have these components. And so I think that the future is people starting to leverage those and using those on a regular basis and really kind of building them into their workflows and work streams. And so I think that that's kind of a big prediction for mine. And I think, reducing the mundane. So if you think about, the recruitment space, it's gone through a lot of reduction in the past couple of years. And I do think that that's probably here to stay, and that companies are going to be more lean in the future. And that means really leveraging the people that you have to do the most important things. And so being able to increase efficiencies where you can. And so anything that can be automated, anything that is really administrative heavy, automating that. And so whether that is using calendaring tools or candidate screening tools or interview tools, there's so many that are going to help to really increase efficiency and give people the time, the face time, the time to be consultative, the time to be really a true partner to the business, which I think is really exciting. And then I think the last thing that's exciting for me is really companies being able to use AI as a way to drive profitability and decrease cost and enhance human potential. So obviously that's a big statement, but I think that it's like focusing less on like turning to layoffs and outsourcing and offshoring first, and turning instead to like how do we use these like tools and technologies to actually drive profitability and decrease.
I know personally, I'm using AI for just about everything, whether it is content creation, like blogs, most of it is AI, video editing now. This video is going to be edited partially by AI. And I
Mhm.
just find that so impressive. Like before, you know, all the tasks that I'm currently handling would have been done by about 5, 6 different people. Now it just takes my creativity as well as like learning how to use AI systems and ask it for certain prompts. So definitely loving all the
Mhm.
innovation in the AI space. And I can't wait to see all the different uses that HR managers and people leaders will be able to use AI. So
Yeah.
based on your experience and observations, how do you feel like the future of work is going to evolve in the next decade?
Oh, in the next decade.
I
That's
know it's a long
that feels
time,
like
right?
a tremendous amount of time. Yeah, I feel like we're
If you
gonna say
want, we
maybe
could
the
do
next couple of
5
years.
years.
No, it's fine. I think it's in the next decade is feels like there's more potential. So I'm cool with that one. So the past few years have really been a roller coaster for so many people and for, people leaders. A, a I mean, the highest, steepest roller coaster filled with as many loops and turns and twists as you can imagine. And I think that the future feels very uncertain in many ways. I think when you started to like, if you think back to the beginning of COVID, it was, there was an end. Like in some ways, like we didn't know exactly how long it would last or what it would turn into, but you knew that there would be an end of COVID, right? I think that the current state that we're in, there's even more uncertainty because we are really like we're building for this unknown future, and all of the things that have happened as a result of COVID, and things that have been happening in the world that have impacted us and work, from the idea of to remote to in office to hybrid work to different company models to fractional work versus full-time W2. There's just been a lot of different ways of working that have been introduced as a result, and I think that people are going to gravitate towards what suits their life best, right? I think that we've had time to think about our priorities and what matters to us, and I think that there's a shift to people, I would say, like, and also the future generations are much more attuned to finding workplaces that suit them, finding transparency, and right, like, so I think that the future of work is going to have a lot of different options. So this is a long-winded way of saying that the future of work is going to be. I see it almost as a bit of a choose your own adventure, because there are going to be companies that are going to stay very similar to how they've always been, but then there's going to be new forms and new ways of working. And I think even when you look at HR as a function, the function itself has had to be so many different things in the past few years, and I think that has shifted so many HR leaders, people leaders, to really focus on areas that they care most about. And so for some that means going into fractional roles, for others that means leaving the industry altogether, for others it means like, staying and being really committed to an organization. And so I think that the future has a ton of potential because there's going to be a lot of choice, and there's going to be a lot of different types of organizations and work styles and leaders, which I think is a great opportunity.
I think the best way to describe it would be that there's going to be a lot more independence on the employee end, where we're going to have the ability to maybe venture out and do things like, I don't know, content creation, consulting. Now, we're going to eventually evolve to have like a fractional role, a full time but not there, 5 days out of the week in office kind of role. You'll be a member of a team or a company, and then just kind of like, you know have your own thing on the side where you are representing the company, but you're your own separate entity. And I think, with AI, it's going to be a lot easier for individuals and employees to be able to manage having multiple roles and being able to help out several organizations at once, or several smaller businesses at once. Just Yeah, it might be interesting to see how the workplace evolves in the future, and see how people evolve as workers. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I think some of the things
Yeah.
that both of us do on the side, it's pretty impactful to a lot of organizations, and we have the ability to do so because we work with progressive companies. Speaking more on my end
Mm.
about AllVoices, but we work with progressive companies that allow us to do these things, and have fun working on things on the side. So what new skills and competencies do you see the workforce needing to have in order to adapt to all the rising technologies and all this change with the workplace?
I believe that the future of work is reskilling and upskilling employees. We are, like I mentioned before, we're embracing, or hopefully folks are embracing AI. We are embracing new ways of working in so many different organizations, and that's going to require us to look at the roles and responsibilities that each individual has, and think about where we want those roles and responsibilities to go in the future, and like looking at those gaps. And so I think, when you look at AI as an example, one of the big skills that folks are going to need in the future is delegation. If you think of AI as really your assistant or as an intern, the most impactful way that you can improve efficiency of that kind of person is to prime them with as much information as possible, because that context is what is going to make them more successful. And so your ability to delegate and really get that person up to speed, or that assistant, or that co-pilot, is going to be what determines how successful that that thing, that technology, will be for you. And then another one that I think is just, seems obvious, but is also really important to call out, is change management. How do you better understand your stakeholders and the people around you? What is most important to them? What is at risk for them? What are they like potentially going to lose in this future state? And how do you really guide people through that journey? Whether you're a leader, whether you're a people manager, whether you're an individual contributor and you work on a team, it's going to be relevant for all people. And so I think those are two key skills, I would say: delegation and change management.
So Amanda, where can we find you online?
Yes, you can find me on LinkedIn, Amanda Halle. And you can also follow my newsletter, Unraveling AI, which is tied to LinkedIn. You can find more information about me and the work that I've been doing, the fractional work that I've been doing, on my website, which is mindfulgrowthpartners.com. And yeah.
Amanda, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. I'm sure the audience is going to love it. And I'm going to leave all the links to where they could reach you on descriptions on Spotify, YouTube. And please remember to subscribe and keep on supporting us here at HR Minute.